Hi, I'm Nick at Sideview, and this is Cooking with Sideview Episode 4. If you've seen the other Cooking with Sideview episodes, they've been pretty deep dives, perhaps too deep. So today I'm going to back up and talk about the Sideview Utils app as a whole. How simple it makes things, why it's awesome, why you should look into it more. By the way, this is an abbreviated version of the talk that I gave at the 2012 Splunk User Conference. So if you missed that talk, this is the short version. So what is Sideview Utils? Well, it's a Splunk app, but it's an unusual one. Most Splunk apps extend Splunk's ability to do something specific, usually to index and report on a certain kind of data. Sideview Utils actually extends the power of the Splunk user interface system itself, and the added benefits are then available to be used across all dashboards and across all apps, if the developer chooses to do so. So what it does is improve quality of life for Splunk dashboard creators. It allows you to build better Splunk dashboards and build them in half the time. Technically, people tell me far less than half the time. Anyway, not to stray off script on the first slide. So, who uses Sideview Utils? It's mostly Splunk admins on private deployments. A lot of time I run into the misconception that it's mostly something for Splunk app developers. While the app developers who use it are obviously very important users, it's by the numbers a smaller demographic. So what is Sideview Utils? It's a Splunk app. It contains primarily modules, new Splunk UI modules that augment and extend the UI framework. It also contains the Sideview editor, the docs, and some generic interfaces. The Sideview editor already has its whole own episode you can check out, Cooking with Sideview episode 2, if I recall correctly, as does the report builder, as do the docs, in fact. But it's really all about the modules. Without the modules, there's really no Sideview Utils. Now, first, if you've never understood Splunk's advanced XML and how it works, or what a Splunk UI module is, there is a great introduction to the framework in Sideview Utils itself. And this is a good time to say that all the documentation needed for Sideview Utils is in the app itself. So curiously, to figure out whether you need it, the best way to go about that is to first download it, install it into your Splunk instance, and then read some of the embedded tutorials and documentation. If you just install the app and do nothing else, nothing changes in any of the apps or in any of the dashboards, so it's safe to download and install just for the purpose of reading about it. If you end up deciding it's not for you, you can uninstall it. Nothing happened. Okay, this slide is a little complicated. This is showing you the most important modules, the ones people will use every day. Blue modules are Sideview modules packaged inside Sideview Utils. They're enclosed in this big stroke like a Tetris piece. Black and red modules are the core Splunk modules. The ones in red are the ones that get patched by the Sideview code if you choose to use Sideview stuff in your dashboards. These modules get their functionality altered a little bit just by the presence of that Sideview code, and the alterations generally make them consistent with the simpler and more powerful Sideview conventions. This middle column here, each of these 5 modules, you can see that they're associated with some Splunk core modules to the left. These ones at the left are the core Splunk modules that can be replaced by the given Sideview module. Sorry, I lost my place a little bit. Here we go. You can replace as much or as little as you like, though. This is not an all or none situation. In fact, pretty much everyone starts out small. You might start to use just 1 or 2 modules to do something that you read about on the Splunk Answers site, to do something weird that you can't do in the core advanced XML maybe. But then a few weeks later, maybe as you read more of the docs, you start using more and more. And you start to do not just weird use cases using Sideview stuff, but you start to do the everyday stuff using the Sideview modules. Pull downs, text fields, drill downs, charts, tables, and you start to realize how much simpler it makes the everyday stuff. So to simplify it, to oversimplify it really, you come for the features, you stay for the productivity. These productivity gains come from a lot of significant improvements on a lot of levels, so many that it can really sneak up on you. There are fewer modules to remember, there are simpler params, there are more consistent param conventions, so on and so forth. Let me show you what I mean though. Let's start with one particular level. Let's pick a metric of complexity. Let's say number of lines of XML in your view. Let's set aside how we might feel about the advanced XML for a moment. I'm going to try and show you that it's not as fundamentally bad as you might think it is, but you don't have to believe me yet. Let's take the same view and build it 4 different ways. Well, actually, let's not, because we already did that. Let's just skip to the end. So this chart shows the number of lines of XML for each of the 4 different ways. The first way, let's build it in the simple XML. I'll show you the code for this in a second. It's essentially 4 pull downs and a number of charts and some drill downs. It's a custom dashboard, and that's what it is. So the first way, we'll build it in the simple XML. We can't really do everything that we wanted to do in the simple XML, but we can do a lot of it. It's 58 lines. Now let's use Splunk's conversion process to convert it to the advanced XML. Oh my God, it becomes 208 lines. Some of you will be familiar with this particular moment, and you're not fond of it. This is the moment that makes everybody hate the advanced XML. Well, first, the conversion process actually adds some things that are unnecessary. It has some bugs also that make the XML unnecessarily verbose. So if we clean that out, we lose 15 lines. That takes us to this third bar. Now we have 193 lines of advanced XML. From here, I go through and I'm just merciless. I replace every core Splunk module that can be easily replaced by a Sideview Utils equivalent. If we jump back to that slide that you had before, I basically map, extended field search to text field, or search select lister to pull down, and so on and so forth. That takes us down to 108 lines. Compared to the ugly converted file, it's about half the size. So let's see what we're talking about. Let's look at a dynamic dropdown in one world versus another. On the left, we have here the Sideview system using a search module and a pull-down module. These create a dynamic dropdown. On the right, this is how you do the same user interface in the core Splunk modules. You can see the difference in the number of lines of XML. And that's the metric that we were talking about in the previous chart. But you might also notice that the version on the right has a lot more complex indentation going on. You can see that there are param tags contained within inside param tags. There's a lot to remember here. There's list nodes. You have to have it exactly this way or it'll freak out on you. So right there you have a second dimension of reduced complexity. Let's leave PowerPoint for a second and let's look at the actual converted clean view from this little experiment versus the Sideview view. By the way, I've added some line breaks to this, so if you're really counting lines, you might see that it's a little bit less. Oh, and Windows is going to fight me a little bit here. That's fun. Okay, close enough. So this is the core way of doing a pull down. You can see there's a search select lister and a convert to intention. And here is another search select lister and another convert to intention. By the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, down at the lower right of this video, you'll see a little icon to make this video full screen. If you haven't clicked that, then you almost certainly cannot read anything on the screen right now. But if you do make it full screen, after a few seconds, it'll switch to a higher definition feed. That will allow you to, somewhat surprisingly, read this. Or at least that's my hope. So this is the giant thing to do one dynamic pull down. Now over here, in the Sideview Utils way, this is how you do the same thing. But here, there's actually another dimension of complexity that we've removed, because, well, once you have a bunch of pull downs all reading from the same set of fields, you can actually factor out the whole search. So you can only spend one search and render any number of pull downs. So that's another dimension on which the Sideview version allows for extra complexity to be eliminated. So these two views are, this pull down here, all of 6 lines of XML, is actually totally equivalent to, am I even going to be able to find it? Yeah, this one here. So this search select lister plus that convert to intention. Those are the same thing. Okay, coming back. Back to PowerPoint. Did it miss us? So, on top of a really long tail of strange improvements that Sideview Utils offer and that save you time, you have the lower number of modules to remember, you have the simpler params, you have no intentions to think about ever. And when you add all this up, the end effect is a little weird. After a week of switching to Sideview Utils, you're able to do a lot more, and you can do it all much faster. People tell me that they can't imagine going back once they really dig in and start using more than a few things. And more, they can't imagine how they used to get things built the old way. So, oh, actually, let me sketch. I have a couple other ones queued up here. This is a redirector module replacing the normal drill down convert to intention plus hidden search plus view redirector. Again, this is the Sideview style on the left and the core module style on the right. These can get a little bit dramatic as you really go. Very complicated drill down configs can be replaced by the redirector module. Anyway, let's go back. here. And that's it. Sideview Utils. Check it out. It's a lot of improvements on a lot of different dimensions. On any particular dimension, you might think, oh, this is going to save me, 30, 40% of my time. But if you add it all up, it's really dramatic, and you won't go back, I promise. Check it out. Be aware that the version of the app on Splunkbase is really old. That is a 1.3.5 version. I stopped distributing it through Splunkbase much earlier in the year. And you want the version on the Sideview website, which is 2.2.9 as of this episode. The latest 2.2 version has tons of improvements, new modules, improved old modules, better docs, more complete docs, the Sideview editor, the lookup updater, usability improvements, you name it, it's in there. So use the newer one. It's available for free for internal use from the Sideview site. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Check out our other episodes. Check back for more in the future. And contact us with any questions whatsoever about any of this. Thanks.